Hey guys, hope you're all having a great day. In this video, I wanted to give a quick update to my Wizard PvP build that I showed in my last video. I pushed with this build all the way up to rank 1 legend. I think this is the highest score I've ever achieved since starting playing Diablo Immortal. I might even push with this build a little bit further just because I'm having so much fun, but there are a few adjustments that I've made to the build to make it even stronger, and especially when you get to the high legend bracket, there are a few changes that you kind of have to make just because of how crazy the meta is and just to give yourself the best chance at winning. So before we get into the build, I just want to go over some kind of misconceptions about the build. So the first kind of question that I've seen people ask is, has the Offhand essence been nerfed? So this new Offhand essence, the Gharbad, this one gives you ice armor invisibility, and they actually have made some changes to it since my last video, but it has not been nerfed. So I'll quickly show exactly how this works here. So we've got my friend here. I'm going to actually duel him, and let's just take a quick look how this essence works. So I'll also try to show his POV just so we can see. So let's go ahead and jump in the duel here. One of the annoying things about dueling here is that the area isn't strifed. So as you can see here, you can't see the area is actually being strifed. It doesn't show the stats here. And also it doesn't show the red dots on the minimap, so we can't check whether or not the essence actually makes you invisible on the minimap. So normally I don't actually like to test PvP stuff here, and I'll show you guys a better place to test PvP stuff. So needless to say, let's just try it here and see how it goes. Let's just press Ice Armor once here and see how it looks on my friend's monitor. I'm going to press it, and as you can see here, looking at my friend's monitor, he can still see me, and he can actually see the grey circle around me, which is a bit strange. So needless to say, it's definitely very buggy in this zone, and it's not worth testing here. If we go back to my game here, we can see that at this training dummy, there's this new battleground training mode. Unfortunately, you can't actually invite friends here. When you try to press this plus, all it does is invite bots to your party. So I'd love to see them add kind of a friend invite feature here, but there is actually another place where we can actually test this out with the strife conditions just to see exactly how this works in PvP, and that is by going to Ashwood Cemetery or any of these areas outside of Westmarch. So let's go ahead and move to Ashwood Cemetery and let's test exactly how this works. So here we go, we've just moved to Ashwood Cemetery. A new feature that's been added that not many players know about is you can actually duel outside here in any of these town zones as long as you're outside. So there you go, the challenge has been sent. So I'll just get my friend to join. There we go. And as you can see, this placed a red border around us. So we're now in a duel. And the really cool thing about this zone is that everything here is strifed, as you can see here from the buff bar. And this is very similar to the PvP zones like BGs. And if we just take a look at my stats as well, everything has been reduced down to a third. So it's clearly active here, the strife. So we can also see the red dot of my friend on the minimap. He's also clearly visible. So what I'm going to do now is move over to my friend's screen and then press Ice Armor. And let's just see if I'm still going to be visible. So there we go. Just moved over to my friend's screen here, and what we'll do is we'll just press Ice Armor and see how this goes here. So there we go, Ice Armor. So I'm not visible on his screen, but what I am visible on is the minimap. Let me just move around here. So there we go, you can see that right there. I am a red dot on the minimap. Let's move over here. And let's press Ice Armor. So there we go, I go completely invisible, but as you can see, the red dot is still visible on the minimap. Red dot is there. And I'm going to press Ice Armor. There we go. You see I'm moving closer to him. So this clearly shows that you can outplay this essence if you are watching the minimap. And in my opinion, it's not completely broken. If it was not visible on the minimap, then it would probably be a bit too broken. So now that we've tested this essence in PvP, what I'm going to do now is actually test it in PvE, and surprisingly they have actually made some changes over the last few days. Since I actually started streaming with this essence, there's been some changes made to PvE. So let's move over to an area here with some mobs. As you can see, there's some mobs over there. And, what I'm going to do is just press invisible, and let's see if this archer keeps hitting me here. So I'm just going to press it. There we go. So it seems like he can still see me. The mobs are still chasing me there. So I'm going to just try that again there. So there we go, I'm invisible, but they're still chasing me. So it seems like in PvE, this essence is kind of dead. But we can just confirm that by doing a gauntlet. I'm going to try this in Gauntlet 1, and let's just see if the boss is able to see me or not. So I'm actually going to spam it the whole time so that I'm invisible the whole time from start to finish. And let's just see how this works. So here we go. As you can see, I'm clearly invisible. and the boss is still doing his attacks. I'm even staying at range, and as you can see, my circle is not dropping at all, but the boss is constantly hitting me non-stop. He's not stopping his attacks. So basically, yeah, this essence kind of seems to be completely dead in PvE. This is kind of a shame because when I tested this on stream 5 days ago, I was able to remain completely hidden and invisible, and the boss wasn't able to hit me at all. But I guess that was a bit too overpowered, because technically that would mean that you're invincible, since the boss can't even sense your presence and you can just stay at a range and keep hitting him, which is what I was doing. I'm kind of glad that they have kind of adjusted this, but what I'd actually like them to change is to change the skill tooltip here to actually say that this does not work at all in PvE, because right now this essence basically does nothing at all in PvE. Now that we've tested and confirmed exactly how the new Ice Armor Offhand is working, let's go ahead and talk about the adjustments that I've made to my PvP build to have an even higher win rate and have a very great performance in Legend rank. So basically, what I've done is I've gone for the Arcane Wind variant that I mentioned in my last video. So as you can see with my skills, I've kept it with Slow Time, Ice Armor, Meteor, and then finally Arcane Wind. So I've actually switched this out rather than the Lightning Nova, and a lot of people have been asking me if I don't like Lightning Nova anymore or if Arcane Wind is better. So what I can say is I've still got the Lightning Nova setup saved in my armory, and the Lightning Nova build is very good, and it actually gives you a little bit better mobility, because with the Arcane Wind, the downside is that you're kind of stationary when you cast it, which is a bit annoying. So you're actually like a lot less mobile, but the upside to it is that it provides huge CC, and especially with my character where I have a lot of potency, this works really well. So in my opinion, especially for kind of mid-reso, fighting a lot against the whales and you're trying to stun them and CC them, the Arcane Wind just works a lot better. If you're a high resonance player or if you're playing in low ranks, then I would definitely still recommend you guys to go with the Lightning Nova variation that I mentioned in the last video. But as far as the updates that I've made to the Arcane Wind variation, let's quickly go over those. So for the legendary essence that I'm using, I've gone for the Terminus Facade. This kind of stays the same. This is going to allow you to spam your skills and maintain the uptime of Ice Armor. The chest essence I've actually changed to Starcrawler's Drapery. This one works extremely well. It actually gives your Meteor 29% radius, which is huge. So when you actually cast your Meteor, it's covering a whole lot more area and it's hitting multiple enemies, and it's just amazing. This chest is definitely a must-have. I was actually using the Crit Chance chest before. Unless you have pinpoint laser accuracy, I feel like this essence is the way to go. Next, for the Shoulders essence, I've actually switched this out from the Meteor essence to Crustclaw, and a few people might be asking why. They probably haven't seen this essence before. So this essence gives you 45% damage reduction to the continual damage effects, and I feel like in the dot heavy meta with the Necros, with the DHs, I feel like this gives me a little bit more survivability. Honestly, you could switch this out to the Meteor essence that I was using before. You could go for either the Gravity Well or you could go for the Stag of Ill Omen. Both of these work fine, but in my opinion, at least for my meta here in the EU, I feel like the Crustclaw is very nice and provides me with a little bit of survivability. Next, for the Pants Essence, I've kept this the same. It's the Binding Forces. This is what's going to give your Meteor the range. And then with the Main Hand Essence, they're also the same. I've got the Thistle Bloom here, which gives you the Arcane Wind, which grows over time and pulls in enemies. And I've also got the Ossified Chromatera, which is the new Slow Time Essence that gives you 22.8% skill damage. Very good. Next, for the Offhand Essence, I've kept it with the Older Crystal here, which is going to give us freeze on the Arcane Wind. This is really good, and I would not recommend switching out. I did try switch it out for the Weathering Eye, but I ended up going back to this for the last Offhand Essence, which is the new Ice Armor Offhand that gives you the invisibility. So the essence that a few people might be scratching their head on is the Ice Armor Essence here. It reads that Arcane Wind freezes chilled enemies for 2.4 seconds, and a few people who kind of know how these essence work will be wondering, how do I get this extra chill? And the way I'm getting the chill is actually from the main hand runes. So the main hand runes here have this stat called your primary attacks have a 6% chance to reduce enemy attack and movement speeds, and I've got this on my other rune here, so you can see. So it's a total of 12% chance to apply chill effect from primary attack. With us being invisible all the time, we can actually afford to press quite a lot of primary attacks to our enemies, which is really nice. So the freeze effect does actually go off more often than you think. The other way we get chill is just by partying up with others. If they're applying the chill, then we're always constantly applying the freeze, and I definitely have had great success playing with this. If we just go over to the dummy, we can quickly see this chill effects in action. So I'm only going to press primary attacks here, and as you can see, if you look at the buff bars above the dummy, there we go, the chill effect is active, and you can see just how long it's active for. It's active for quite a long time, and then when it drops, even before it drops, I'm able to reapply it again there. You can see that's the first chill icon, and then let's press Arcane Wind while this icon is active. So there we go. As you can see, a second freeze icon has appeared, so not only is the enemy chilled, but it's also frozen. So this just goes to show that it is working as intended. So this just goes to show that this stat is actually very, very powerful, and just having it from the runes is enough, but I think you can also get it as a magic attribute on your items if you wish to do so, and also you can get it on the reforges, but I think that that's a bit overkill. I would probably not recommend you guys to do that. I think just with these two main hand runes, it's enough. The other very useful attribute that I didn't mention last time around, so obviously the Meteor Affix is very nice, and also Crit Chance. These are the two that you want to prioritize for this build, but the other one that's really, really good is actually the Erebon affixes here, and one of my friends told me about this. Shout out to the Wickerman, and this is the one that you want to go for. It's the Restrain Magic attribute, which reads that knockbacks now have an 8% chance to stun enemies for 2 seconds, cannot occur more often than once every 4 seconds on the enemy. This one works really, really well to give you a stun as well as a freeze, which is really nice. And the other one that you want to go for is loss of control durations on affected enemies are increased by 16% when you critically hit them. This one is also very good. As you can see, this one is 2 out of 4, and the reason for that is because I have it also from the rune here, the PHY rune on my chest, so I definitely recommend you getting this one. There is another Restraint Affix which works pretty well, which also reads that you can pull enemies towards you with your attacks. Unfortunately, I haven't got that one here, but if you do manage to get that one as well, then that's going to be really OP with this build. As far as the legendary gems, I've also made quite a lot of changes here just to keep up with the meta and give me a better chance against those pesky demon hunters or those pesky monks. So I'm still going with Bloodsoaked Jade, Roiling Consequence, Colossus Engine, and the Blood Flow for my 5-star gems. For the 2-star gems, I've made some changes here. So I've gone for Crimson Behelit. This is an extremely good gem, especially with the fear effect. So this is basically proccing every time you're going to get below health, and you're going to basically get below health a lot of time when people try to rush you down and also jump in for you on the back line. So this is very good just to fear them away. Another gem which is also very good to kind of immobilize them and keep them in place is the Back Bros here. So you have to bear in mind that they will still be able to use their skills while immobilized, but just having them stand still, especially if they're a monk or a demon hunter, this is always going to proc when you need it. This is an extremely good gem just to keep you alive, basically. And once I actually slotted this in, this actually increased my win rate by a lot. As far as the other 1-star gem, which is very powerful, is the Fall to Grasp. I've even seen Wales running this with Max Rezo. This is just a very good gem with the dash skill prevention. So critical hits disable dash skills, and this is going to work really well on monks, on demon hunters, on necros, and also on other wizards running the meta build with teleport and with the Arcane Wind and Lightning Nova. If the meta shifts, then I might actually take this gem out again and go for more damage gems like Bottled Hope, for example. But until then, this one is very good here. And then for the final gem that I'm using, I decided to go for the Spectre Glass. If you don't have this, then you can always go for something like Mother's Lament or even Fervent Fang. These would work absolutely fine here. One thing about this is that my secondary stats, I've also kind of adjusted these to go all in on armor penetration and potency. And basically, I'm not going for any armor and I'm not going for any resistance. I'm living the full glass cannon lifestyle, and I'm actually loving it. Even though I'm very squishy, I do feel like if I have excellent positioning, I can give my opponents a real challenge, and I really feel powerful. And even in whale matches, I can be very impactful with the Arcane Wind. So I definitely suggest going for these. Finally, for the Paragon Tree, I've made a little change to the Slinger Tree. This is how my setup looks, just to maximize my critical hit chance from the Slinger Tree here. So this is what I've gone for, and I'm kind of doubling down on this stance that the Slinger Tree is the best one, and I just need that extra bit of damage, that extra bit of crit chance to really up my chances in those whale matches. I tried playing with the Brawler Tree, I tried playing with the Gladiator Tree, and my results just weren't as good. So this Slinger Tree and also the Soul Harvester are really MVP for this build. The final thing that I want to go over in this video is a question that I've been getting a lot, and it's why I don't use teleport in this build. So you'd think that teleport would be a great option just to give me mobility. Obviously the weak point of this build is that you have no mobility, And the answer to that is that if we just put teleport on my bar here rather than Arcane Wind. So I have to thank Skyrain here for letting me know about this. He's a content creator who's very knowledgeable about the wizard class. If you haven't checked him out, guys, I'd highly recommend you to check him out, his channel, and subscribe to him. But basically what he told me is that when you press this meteor skill here, and obviously you can start spamming your meteors when you've empowered yourself, but unfortunately when you press your teleport, as you can see, it resets the cooldown of meteor. If you're in a spam build where you have to press your skills constantly to reset the cooldowns, this is going to be very annoying. Because let's say I press it once here, instantly press teleport, that's some 9-second cooldown that I have to wait now to be able to use meteor again. So this is the reason why I'm not using it. And even if this bug gets fixed, it's going to be a bit challenging because the Pants Essence here is for the Binding Forces. This one is for Meteor to have the range, and most of the good teleport essence, for example, the Stalking Wing, which a lot of people like to use for the Blink teleport knockup, this one is also on the Pants Essence. So kind of the only real option that you have is to use vanilla teleport with this essence, but like I said, this is currently bugged. And you're not able to use it with this new Meteor Pants. So that's about everything that I wanted to mention in this video, guys. Hope this video has been informative. Do definitely try this build out. It's going to take you guys quite a bit of practice to perfect it, but once you actually take the time and play with the build, I think that you can get very good results with it, and I'm going to even try to push this one even further. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'm going to catch you all in the next video. Peace.